That's good. That's good. It's funny how all this is rolls into Fat Blue Ribbon. Today we got a couple of the volleyball game and the football game, right? How to pick up the scheduling of the family. There's literally like 19 people involved in getting today to happen.
There's a calendar that sets reminders for everybody on everybody's phone an hour before all items.
Yeah. And it's funny how you want something like that to be a part of your life, right? Like a calendar, until it suddenly is a part of your life. Like you can talk about, but yesterday we had somebody coming over to meet with one of the kids for a business idea, and it wasn't on the calendar.
Right. She's like, it's not on the calendar.
Yeah. So the kid went to do something. And then we were like, what are you doing? Well, it's on the calendar. So I went to do it. Was like, oh yeah, we run by calendars.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that has become a part of this, because it's a lot, right? How many kids do we have?
I mean, we have 6 together, but right now we're scheduling 4, because technically Serenity is a part of the schedule.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. If y'all don't know, blended family, right? So a big part of what we want to talk about in these messages and in these talks is what it's like to blend families, and what it's like to go through the daily struggle of getting it all put together. And at the end of the day, it seems shiny and bright and really neat, but you don't get to see the behind the scenes stuff. And anyway, and so as far as blended, so I have 3 kids before I got married to Alicia. Alicia had 2 kids before we got married, and then we have Abraham together. So it goes Mikey, who's the oldest boy. I had him when I was 17, so I've been a dad a super long time, right? And because he's 28 now, going to be, wait, he just turned 28. And then Corbin is 23. Madison's 21, right? And then Griffin, right? So he's 14. Holland's 13, and Abraham is 9. And so we had all of the kids always living with us except for Mikey. He was back and forth with his mom, right? But most of his high school life he spent with us. And then he went back to Houston. So he's in Houston now. And then we had all the kids with us who were under 18, and we had to manage them and take care of them. And they were kind of all over the place. And we were just learning to be actually like, I would say, practicing Jesus followers. Parents,
like full-time
all those things, like, were all happening at the same time. And so there was a lot of transition from the older kids to the younger kids, right? And I think, so all of them lived with us, 5. Then 2 left, Corbin and Madison. And then Madison came back with a baby, right? Which we didn't think was going to be a thing that happened so quickly. And then Madison had some life events happen, and then she left, and Serenity stayed with us. So have 6 kids, 1 grandbaby, and 4 full-time take care of kids currently live with us. Yes. And so it takes a village. So let's talk about the number of people around us who help. Like, let's talk about direct family, and then maybe we can talk about the rest of the community. People. Yeah.
So we were able to build a mother-in-law suite on our property about a year after we purchased our house. So Matt's mom lives there full-time. So we have help on site.
Yes. We call her the neighbor sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. And she does, I would say, a lot of the the normal timings where it's like, okay, she picks up Abraham every day when she's not on vacation. And then my parents live about 2 blocks away from us right now.
That's awesome.
So my mom and dad, because if all of the other people are taken, we have to call my dad too.
He does, yeah. Your dad is definitely like a key figure for like random pop-ins. Like
backup.
You don't necessarily plan something weeks in advance for your dad, but like
if it's
spur
random,
of the moment,
he's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Also for like a random throwing the football session or playing basketball.
Yeah.
My dad's good for that too.
Or a random walk by the house, stop in for a 2-second or 30-minute conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's like the inner circle.
Yeah.
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 And then we have It's funny. We have agreements with other families. We have treaties
Yeah, right. Yeah.
with other families as to how to coordinate. Like Abraham goes home with the family
Hmm.
so that it's closer for us to pick up. Griffin has about 3 families that if we can't pick him up on time or drop him off on time, we can reach out and we can get help easily.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
super easy. Like they're never like, "Oh, I can't believe you're asking again."
For sure.
Yeah, so community is huge. And I mean, we have a lot of other people that if we needed to, they would like in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Go
and
help.
Holland has her volleyball group, but Amanda, who I mean,
Amber.
Amber. Yep, Amber is a big one.
You said Amanda, but it's
I
fine.
meant Amber. Yeah,
Amber is
yeah,
yep,
for
she'll
sure.
pick up and take with school and volleyball.
Hmm.
So that's a huge
Sailor
one
and
too.
Sailor's mom.
Mhm.
Anyway, there's so many people, right? And then we have
So
our
many.
friends like Andrew Justine, G and Jazz,
Yep.
the Hesters. Like, there, it seems like we're all so involved in everybody's life, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you would do it. How you do it without community. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound enjoyable.
But we have fun.
No, it doesn't sound enjoyable to not have a community to help
Oh, I
you.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've met a few people who are like, yeah, it's just me, and I'm like, but why? Like,
Especially single moms,
yes,
right?
like
That they're
I've had multiple conversations where I'm like, have you thought about interviewing an Uber driver
right.
and have a full-time Uber driver that like in the event you're running late, there's traffic, they can go get your child. We had a friend of Corbin's in high school. His dad worked, it was single dad.
Yep.
He worked a lot, sometimes traveled. He'd interviewed a specific Uber local driver, did background checks, all the things, and that was his only person who ever dropped him off, picked him up, and multiple times he would be dropped off at the house. And we're like, who dropped you off? He's like, oh, my Uber driver. We're like, what? That's such a good idea. And in the event of not having a community, like that's a good
You have
option.
the one. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I remember talking to him about it, and because we were pretty interested, like, wait, how does this work? What is it? Right, well, describe the guy, and he's like, I don't know. He has legs. Remember that? And we were like, you're gonna describe the guy as he has legs?
Okay.
Like, I hope the driver. I mean, I guess you can without, but
I mean, this was in high school though, so like, I mean, just capacity for things, you just
for sure.
can't.
I think also talking about like community, it's not just the physical things that happen, like picking up and taking, but like you talked about coming over and throwing the football. The action of the football is cool, but the bond that Griffin and Opa have is so cool, right? And then same thing with some of the other people in their lives. It's like it seems like it's facilitating a need, but then there's so much more purpose behind it, right? Like we've had pastors and friends and different people who have definitely poured into their lives and said some things to them that as parents we've said the same things, but they hear it differently because it comes from other places. So not only community, but community that all has desires to find a better like spiritual walk in life. You know what I mean? Like there, it seems to be that we have a lot of believers who are in our world, no matter what level of believing they're at. But it seems like there's a common. I love living here in NB because there seems to be a common thread of wanting good, whether you necessarily understand it or not. Even some of my friends who are, I will say, anti-church, maybe not anti-Bible, but anti-church, who still the tones, the underlying tones, their actions speak to wanting better, not selfishness, which I think is the tone of this community in general.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And so, what is it like? I'm asking you questions now, like it's like we're interviewing something, but like, what is it like for you as a mom who runs a successful business and has so many demands on you? What is it like to be able to live in a community like this? Because I know we take the kids other places, and we're always like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we live where we live." Right?
NB, yeah. Wait. So the question?
The question is, as a mom who needs community and needs the things, and you also do some women's groups things where you get to break out and go to
Mm-hmm.
like April stuff, right? Or you're going to a women's event with
Jazz,
Jasmine
yeah.
soon, right? So like there's things like that where it's like community of support, as well as it's cool to actually just be living here instead of in some big city.
Yeah, so I had spoken to a mom like she's a single mom a few years ago, and she was talking about like, oh my gosh, this mom like offered to pick up my son after practice, and I just like don't know about that. And I'm like, what? Like, I grew up in a household of community. And
That's
so
good.
I went into a household expecting community,
Mm-hmm.
and I just built it. Like it I don't know anything different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a multi-generational household. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My grandmother lived with us for, I mean, I don't even know, until 2000 when we moved here until she passed,
Mm-hmm.
which was like 20, right? And
Yeah.
so the latter part of her life was in our household. And so that's why I didn't know how to cook, because they always cooked, and
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
always food.
Laundry was done.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I was part of a big Mexican family. Like that's my mom's side in El Paso, and so that culture is very like close. And I mija, let me do it for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll cook, don't worry. And I think my kids the same way. Like they would, oh ma, I want eggs. Okay, I'm getting up to get
Beans and
eggs.
cheese. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. And so I didn't have to be I didn't have to learn community. I was just naturally a part of that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if I'm looking at like the different facets and like parts of my life, I would say running the household is the best delegation I have.
Mm.
Cuz in business, it's so hard delegating. It's just challenging.
Mm.
Um, but with the people who I've built in our circle, like asking, "Hey, can you pick up Griffin?" Literally, like within 20 minutes of needing to get him, I don't even think about the delegation of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've built trust already,
Mm-hmm.
and so the question is just perfect. Ask, let's go. Are we good? Awesome. Love you. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. And I don't know of a time that we've ever been in need and not had somebody who could fulfill the need for
Yeah.
us. And I'm talking about whether it's a couple weeks from now we need you or we need you right now. There's
Mm-hmm.
always been that thing. Okay, so that's the good part of it, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about what it's like maybe for our kids, because what we do for a living, right? We know so many people, right? And sometimes that's a bit of a like, oh gosh, you know them too. Like Andrew and I were in the coffee shop yesterday, and it wasn't everybody in there, but more often than not, it felt like people walked in. It's like, you got to get up, stop the conversation, talk. It's like the hub, but there were some people who sat in there and not one person walked through the door that they had to talk to. Like they
Right.
glanced at and they went back to their work, right? So part of the cool thing about having such a community is the access to people and talks and fellowship, and then part of the downside is access to people and like, you know what I mean, like what is
Mm-hmm.
that like?
Yeah, I mean, if I think for us, we've just realized like if we need a break, we just leave.
That's good.
So we fixed up the ranch house,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an easy getaway.
Yeah, yeah.
The condo, if it's not rented out, it's an easy getaway,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hotel, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sleep at the office, like I mean, literally
Discount.
whatever
Yeah.
we have, and I don't think it's um I don't think it's selfish,
Mm-hmm.
but I think sometimes society makes it seem like it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just as crucial as like your self time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever that is, getting up in the morning, reading, doing your devotional, working out, being creative, right? Having time. Last night it was like 8:30, and I'm reading in the room, and everybody comes in, and I was like, nope, this is my time. Like,
Yeah.
love y'all, good night. And like everybody left. And it's like, it's okay. Like, I worked all day long. I got everybody where they needed to be. Everyone is home. They're all showered.
Fed.
They can all just chill outside of my bedroom.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're all going to survive.
And
And
that's part of my job.
we're all going to love them. And they're
Right.
going to love me. It's fine.
Sometimes I feel I'm kind of like your bodyguard, right? In our own
Gatekeeper.
house.
I know.
It's
Like, even the dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, Theo, out. Like, get out.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. So maybe this is like on topic, off topic, but if you had some kind of message for a overwhelmed mom, right?
Mm.
What would that be?
Well, I think whether it's like single mom, blended family, like I would find community in different areas. So like it seems like single moms gravitate towards single moms,
Mhm.
right? But also have people who aren't single moms because sometimes those are going to be the people who help you the most because they're not single. Like they
Sure.
have the ability to like, hey, I can pick up your kid 3 days a week, right?
Sure, yeah.
And so having different groups who can support you in different ways and then having time set aside, whether it's once a month, once a week, to just kind of get away. It doesn't have to be a full day, a full weekend. It can be a few hours, right?
Sure.
And not feeling selfish about that act.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting you say it that way because so often we want to go with the people that we most relate to, but and it's not that they're drowning, but I think about people who are drowning shouldn't look for other people who are drowning.
Right.
They should look for somebody with an extra life raft, right? Like
Yeah.
like you should look for somebody. And so not that families that single moms aren't as stable, some of them are even more stable, but if you can find somebody who doesn't necessarily have the exact same setup as you, maybe y'all can play off of each other. You know what I mean? On how to help because as a single mom might be able to help a married mom who has multi-generation family. Like, hey, maybe you can get away once a week and we'll hang out and do something.
Yeah,
You know what I
like
mean?
it absolutely goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways, right?
Yeah, both can edify each other.
Yeah, and I think about some of the friends like I'm saying Amanda again. Amber. Goodness. Amber, like we know her enough to go like, hey Amber, how are you? Like we love her. She's awesome. I don't know very much about her. Like we've never hung out, but my daughter lives half time at her house. Like and her kids are at our house, and I think about how that balance works so well, and we're not best friends, right? I mean, sometimes I think when you think go to community, you think I have to bring somebody into my world and know their secrets and deal with their stuff, and sometimes it's just being available for each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think also blending families in church, right? A lot of times, what people will say, pastors, I've heard them say, multiple ones say, your first congregation is your home, right? And I think that sort of translates to business too, like running your family and being kind to the family members and solving conflict and getting somebody from point A to point B and putting a calendar together. Like when you run your family well, then a lot of that will translate over into business. And I think sometimes we separate those things so much. And I think about a friend of one of our sons says that his dad, who was a pastor, would say all these nice things up on stage and then come home and start drinking and be mean to everybody. And like, so he was out, like it had wanted nothing to do with church,
Yeah.
right? And over time, his dad's gotten better and some things have gotten better for them. But in that period of his life, it's like when you run your business one way and are nice to everybody in town, right? And then you go home and everybody thinks you're a tyrant, right? Like the balance has to be with both. What do you think?
Yes, and it's challenging because, especially in what we do, our business seems to bleed into all areas of life,
Sure.
right? Like our kids are aware that if we're in the car and someone calls, they need to be quiet. Even our 2-year-old granddaughter,
For real.
like it is, the tone is set,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And they may never want to do what we do because they've seen like how hard it can be at times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But they also see the fruit of that hard work, right? And so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, right? But back to your question. I think that it does need to start in the home because you go home every day,
That's good.
right? Like we're not at our office every day. I have an office at the house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think about it like when our house is a mess, like my my mental space is a mess. And Terry Spelfoy talks about it all the time. She was like, if she was like, it is proven, like scientifically proven, if your space is cluttered, it will bleed into other parts of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have to do nice, but you can do clean.
It's good.
And so, okay, then go super minimalistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, my kitchen isn't super modern, but it's clean,
Mm-hmm.
right? And our kids are the same way. Like, it seems as though if our house is kind of in a chaotic time frame, right? Like, we're just busy, the house is dirty, like, there's stuff everywhere. It seems like they can't focus either.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, setting time aside and like, no, 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 like, we are going to do this. And sometimes it is getting them involved, but sometimes, like, the other day, like I was already up at 4. I'd gone to work out. I was like, dude, I'm like wired. I'm like ready. I'm
Yeah.
like 2 cups of coffee in. Like, I'm just going to do this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like realizing that, like, I'm grateful that I get to clean up the house.
That's
because I have a
good.
house.
That's good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that I get to clean up all the kids' things. Like, I got to buy all of those things for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so realizing that, like, at one point in time, you were praying for all those things.
That's good.
Right? And
Yeah.
so if you can start with your house, it will definitely bleed over to your business.
And say that again. You don't have to do nice, but you can. How do you say?
Yeah, you don't have to do nice, but you can do clean.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then let's talk about something pretty fun real quick. So we talk about all the parents involved and stuff, but because we work pretty hard, we get to do some pretty cool things. And I think about your mom hanging out with us this weekend at the resort in the cabana, and we were floating around, and she's ordering like a margarita or whatever it was from the,
that's great.
and it's just like she like owns that space, right?
Yep.
So it's fun to be able to do cool things with them, like take them on trips, and like
Yeah.
so there's some reward that comes with, if you will, being a part of the crew.
For sure. And there's been some times where we've wanted to go do something, but like a family that we want to like fellowship with they don't have the funds to do that.
Mhm.
And it's just been like, hey, we got you, like, just meet us at the hotel.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like, I remember Jesse Duplantis talking about like kind of a similar situation. And like, he said the family was like floored at, like, what do you mean you're going to take us to Hawaii? Like, he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, got you. Like, y'all got your own suite. Like, let's go. And it's just like little things like that. Like, you don't have to do something quite like that, right? But little acts of kindness bring the same reward, right?
Sure.
Like, I'll never forget. We bought dinner for a family at Texas Bistro, right? And they sought us out on
Like on
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
I think they had gone to the waiter and said, please just give us just what name is on the bill. And then they found us and were like, you don't know what that did for us. Like, we had been going through a lot. And so, like, what we're able to do, yes, with our family, but also with others,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's priceless.
For sure. I love, like, I like doing nice things with us. Like, we have fun, we do cool things, but there is like a next level enjoyment when you're like, we got you, just come on. And then for families not to go like, should I order the steak? No, order the steak.
Right.
And the sides, and then, all the things, and like the whole night there's like this weight that you feel like maybe someone carries around, and then that weight's lifted. Like, they don't have to worry about anything but just like how much am I enjoying these moments, you know?
Yeah, and because there is a level of receiving that you have to be in that
Mm.
spot to like be okay letting someone else do
Yeah,
that. Like
that's
think
true.
of like the family, like what if they would have said to Jesse and Kathy, like, we really appreciate your kindness, but like we're just not gonna do that,
Yeah,
right? Like they didn't do that so that they could boast about taking them on a trip for
right,
the rest of their lives.
right.
Like, remember that, remember that, remember that. Like, no, like they wanted to do that because they wanted to be able to hang out with them in an environment where they weren't stressing out. Like, we want to go on vacation.
Yeah,
And you've talked about going to Hawaii, so let's just all
let's just
go.
go.
It's
Yeah.
totally fine, right? And so there definitely is a level of like, okay, I'm okay receiving that as well. I'll never forget a family member. This was probably like 2020, 2021. I wanted to buy them a Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what style to get them. And I really wanted, we don't have the same style. And so I didn't want to just be like, this is what I would pick, right?
Yeah.
And so I told her, I want to buy you a Louis. Let's go pick it out, right? And she starts like bawling and says like, I can't take that gift, right? And I was like, okay, no worries, right? And so it's something like that. Like, what in her decided that she couldn't receive that, right? Like, what's her chokehold?
Yeah.
Right? Jesse talks about that a lot, right? Like, you give 1,000 and you're believing for 100-fold, and
here's the
but
first
it's
fold,
like,
and you're like, yeah.
I can't, like, oh, that's your chokehold.
Mm.
That's your chokehold, right?
Mm.
And like, I get it. Like, we all progress, right? But I'm hoping that at that moment, like, she realized that there's a lot of blessings that are being held back for her because of the time that she's sown in to our family,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And so, I mean, sometimes you have to be like, is that a me problem, or is that like I have discernment to not receive that gift?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's good. And I know that I've also, before, I would be very like, no, I don't need you to do that. Like, not so much like I can't receive it as much as, no, I'm good.
It's like a pride
I
thing.
don't, it's a pride thing, yeah. And so recently it was so enjoyable. Schlitterbahn, right? There's a family of the gym that Abraham goes to that wanted to take all the boys. And so more boys and people wanted to come, I think, than they thought. So they rented 2 cabanas,
Yep.
right? And then brought in food and drinks and paid for tickets and everything. And I think in my other life before Jesus, I've been like, I don't know, we'll go, but you like, no, you need to get your own food and you're gonna do your own things and like try to like slip money to them just so. And it's not like because I don't want you to spend money on me. I don't need you to spend money on me, right? And it was so enjoyable to be there because I've been in that guy's shoes, and he loves being the one who got to do that for all those families, and a lot of them there couldn't have gone and had that
And have
day
that same
without it,
experience.
right? So for the ones who can and the ones who can't, like he wasn't sitting there like, oh, look what I provided for you. I know what that feels like. It's like there's so much joy in giving. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the same thing like handing somebody keys and then just literally, here's the keys and here's the title. And then you just drive away. And the funny thing about that too is then people will challenge you, right? I've had this happen to me. Like, you have a pretty nice car. So if y'all don't know, Alicia drives around a red G-Wagon, right? And I had somebody come up to me and say, like, well, aren't you Christian? I was like, yeah. Well, just like a weird way to start a conversation, but yes, I am. That, well, why wouldn't you just buy like 3 or 4 Kias and give cars away instead of buying that? And I was like, well, what if I did already give 3 or 4 cars away and I have this? And he's like, oh, okay. It's like, and then the fleshy me was like, you're driving a Kia. How many cars did you give away? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have less and you're doing less with it. You know what I mean? Like,
to be fair, I used to be that guy, right?
Mm.
Like, in the sense of like, I remember thinking like, like, it was freaking yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were working for someone, and I was like, why doesn't he pay us more?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had no idea what it took to run a business.
Sure.
And I was questioning his motives as to why he didn't give us more bips right on each loan.
Sure.
And then when we got our P&L and I understood all the expenses, I was like, that's why. Yeah. Like I get it, right? Like, valid questions. But sometimes those questions and the response to those questions will lead us into like the next season of like, well, why am I asking that?
Sure.
Right? And like, if I didn't remember asking that then, I think I would have responded to that question like kind of like him, you know? And so I think it's like by God's grace, he takes us through seasons of like, okay, just stay here and learn all the things, ask all the questions, because in the next season, I'll answer them.
Yeah. In with that particular situation, you would think the G-Wagon was almost like something too much, right? We've even had CPA say that, oh, that's too fancy of a car to do write-offs on, or different things, right? And so, but that conversation led to later on, there was a family member who had a pretty terrible accident, and the person stopped me in the middle of the road to ask me to pray for them, right? And I'm not saying they're not believers, but they're not like practicing active, like whatever, right? Whatever that even means. But for some reason, I think the story of, oh, you guys live this all the way out and believe this all the way, and you're not just, I'll call it Bible thumpers or whatever it is that people think that religious people can be, but you're normal, active people who let me borrow stuff and come over and we do things like we're neighborly. I can ask you challenging questions and you answer them with love. And then so now, where I don't pray, I need a prayer, I'm going to stop that guy in the middle of the street. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things when it's like, that's why Jesus puts all of this together, right? There's going to be these dots connected that you could have never planned. And that one moment of hopelessness and what do they think to do? I need to find somebody who believes in this person called Jesus, because I need something spiritual to happen, and I know I can't do that on my own.
Yeah, I think some of our responses can shift
That's good.
someone's perspective like in a second.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think we've seen that through our business, right? A lot with how I would say you respond. I think I'm naturally like my mother, who's just a fighter, right? Like, that's kind of my natural response. But like, through your responses, I've learned how to give more grace. And like Andrew and I talk about a time, we're like, we know what Matt's going to do. We're not super excited about it, but we know how he's going to respond, right? And we know it's the right, like in grace, it's the right response, but we want to respond with our flesh, right? And so getting to a point to where you no longer, response and reaction.
Yeah, you don't react.
You don't react like you're, like someone comes at you and they're just getting close to you and you just punch them, right? Like your response is more like, okay, I'm giving grace, right? But I'm all like, I was talking to Holland last night. I was like, look, we give grace because that's what Jesus did for us, but that doesn't mean that it's like, please run all over me. You know what I mean? Like, there is a point where it's like, hey, love you, I need to step back, right?
Sure.
And so sometimes the only Jesus people are going to see is the Jesus in you.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes love is no.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best way for me to help you is for me not to be around you. Cause it's not that I don't love. It's not that I won't, if you need something from me or if I can be, but I'm not going to put you or I through this any longer. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. That was fun. Good conversation.
Good combo.
Way to go, babe. We out.